Hello, hello. It's Dr. Pam here. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. This is a special edition tonight because this is Heart Health Month. So, in honor of Heart Health Month, I want to talk about heart health in women or women's heart disease. So I'm going to go on and introduce myself. I am Dr. Pam Middleton, your virtual holistic physician. I help women who are overworked, overwhelmed, and overextended reclaim their freedom and joy by creating a path to become healthy, happy, and whole. So, I am actually going to be highlighting the book of a friend of mine. She is a cardiologist, Dr. Jackie Ubani, and this is her book right here. See, it's The Real Story, Women and Heart Disease. Very, very good book, and I'm going to put in the link later how you can actually find this book. So, a couple of things. First of all, I'm going to start off by sharing a story of a friend of mine who gave me permission to share her story. She is a middle-aged African American woman who was healthy, or so she thought, pretty healthy. She had maybe, some weight issues, but had actually lost a lot of weight. So she's at a good weight. She actually smoked cigarettes at one point in her life. She'd stopped smoking. So she's actually changed like her poor habits and, made herself a healthier person. So she went to her doctor for her regular exam last year, and she did have a history of having a heart murmur that was considered like innocent. There was no problem, no cardiac problems with her murmur. But her physician said, this murmur sounds louder than it sounded in the past. So you need to go and get checked out. Well, I'm going to send you to the cardiologist. So I think at that point, typical woman doing all these things, she didn't go right away. And then, she finally went. And I think the first time she went, she didn't really get the gravity of how serious her condition was. Went back again, took somebody with her who could really understand that this is serious and you need to have surgery like ASAP, which is exactly what happened. She had a serious heart condition, ended up with a serious surgery. And, I keep on reminding her still that you could have died, but this is typically what has happened to a lot of women where either, like in her case, had she not had a physician who really paid attention and said, I know you've had this murmur, but it sounds a little bit different. Let's go on and get this checked out. It would have been probably a totally different outcome for her. Now she's had her surgery and she's actually, doing fine. She's still going through some cardiac rehab, but she is really on the mend. And her prognosis is great. So for all of you women who are listening, first of all, and you guys hear me say this all the time, you have got to take care of yourself. You have got to go in and get your exams. And I know a lot of times you're too busy with everybody else. You take your kids in for their exams. You tell your husband he needs to go in for his exams, and you're doing whatever you need to do for everybody. That's why you're overworked and overwhelmed, okay? But you've got to just take time for yourself, because if something happens to you, then who is going to take care of all those people that that you want to be taken care of, okay? So first of all, you want to make sure that you are going in and getting your exams. And if something is going on with you, and this is, obviously outside of heart disease, but if there's something that doesn't feel right in your body and you don't think that your physician is taking you seriously, there is never a problem with you requesting a second opinion. You can always get a second opinion. You can always go to someone else if you feel like your doctor is not taking you seriously, okay? And unfortunately, there is a bias with women, where sometimes women are just not taken as seriously. Even women who are having heart attacks are actually less likely to be diagnosed as having a heart attack in some cases. And so you really have to learn how to be an advocate for yourself, or make sure that you have a physician who will listen to you, who will be an advocate for you, who won't just say, "Oh, you're just stressed. Oh, it's just stress. Don't worry about it. It's just stress." Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it is just stress, because stress can do a lot of things, and that's a whole nother topic we can go through. So stress can do a lot of things, and it can masquerade as different things, but you always want to be taken seriously, and you want to get the workup that you deserve. So I just want to go through a couple of things that are in this book. I want to talk about the risk of cardiovascular risk, the cardiovascular risk rather, in women. So one of the big things, and I mean, you guys know, obviously if you have chronic illnesses, that's going to place you higher at risk. So somebody who has a history of an abdominal aortic aneurysm, if you don't know what it is, don't worry about it. If you had it, you would know. Okay. End stage or chronic kidney disease, diabetes, cigarette smoking, high blood pressure, that would be blood pressure that's greater than 120/80, or even treated hypertension, okay? An increased total cholesterol, and are being treated for high cholesterol. And once again, some of these numbers you want to talk to your doctor about. Like, let's say blood pressure. Let's say your blood pressure traditionally always ran 90/70 or something, which seems fairly low. But for some people, that's what their blood pressure is. So then if all of a sudden your your blood pressure is now like 110/80, that might be high for you. So that's another reason that you want to be going to your doctor regularly, because you always want to, when you look at your numbers, you look at your numbers against what you were before. Okay, so it's kind of like a trend. So you want to look at those numbers, your blood pressure, your cholesterol. Obesity obviously is a risk factor. Being sedentary, not moving, is a risk factor. Having a poor diet is a risk factor. And so, and even some things that may have happened while you were pregnant. So if you got a history of gestational diabetes, or preeclampsia, or pregnancy-induced hypertension, those are all risk factors, okay? So you want to make sure you're getting your exams. And this book is going to give you a lot of really good information. So I'm going to hold it up here. But after I get off the broadcast tonight, I am going to put a link in the comments. But this book is available on Amazon. So if you go on Amazon and just look up The Real Story, Women and Heart Disease by Dr. Jacqueline Ubani, you will find it. But I'm going to go on and put the link in the comments so you can have that. So women, what I want to say to you, especially during this month, is take time for yourself and make sure that you're getting your proper exams. So you can just go to your regular internist to have a regular exam. They will check you out. I mean, I went and had my exam. When I had my exam, my internist actually did an EKG on me. It ended up being fine. But obviously, if something was abnormal, I'm sure I would have been referred to a cardiologist, okay? So make sure that you are going to get your exams and that you are taking care of yourself, all right? And if anybody I don't see any questions today, so I am going to leave you. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your Wellness Wednesday. Thank you for joining me today. I am Dr. Pam Middleton, your virtual holistic physician. I help women who are overworked, overwhelmed, and overextended reclaim their freedom and joy by creating a path to become happy, healthy, and whole. Bye-bye.